AHA Americans, how Americans on AMP Live and the AMP Live Real Estate Show. I'm going to be your host today. We're going to talk about creative real estate investing. Now, I know this is in the should be going into sub 2 group, so I'm just going to kind of gravy over creative real estate investing because I'm sure this is being streamed on all kinds of different platforms right now, from YouTube to Twitch to Facebook to Instagram, all those different ones, LinkedIn, I believe, and Twitter even. So watch the video all the way through the end. How you doing out there? Hope you're doing good. If you know who I am, awesome. If you don't, do I know who you are? Maybe. Social media, right? Everybody kind of watches everybody's stuff and does their things to a degree. But the goal here is to give you some value in regards to creative real estate investing. Probably going, well, a lot of people know what creative real estate investing is, and some people don't. You'll be surprised. We're at a property at an undisclosed location. Did invite some peeps if they wanted to come visit, can hang out. There's a telephone number. I think it might be below. It might be a telephone number, text, give you the address and all that good stuff. You want to meet for some coffee, want to, whatever, talk about real estate, Q&A and all that good stuff. Everything creative real estate investing. That's what we're going to be talking about, okay? As well as the traditional side, because there are a shout out to our sponsors, AMP Live Media. That's a broadcasting and media company, as well as VIP Execs, Realty and Lending. That's a traditional real estate boutique brokerage where you can, doesn't matter where you're at in the United States of America, you want to hang your license with them, with us, and we can put something together for you if you're not happy. But shout out to them. A lot of good stuff is happening. Recruiting's happening on that end, as well as recruiting's happening in the private sector, but it's all one juicy, happy family. If you want to come together and be part of that, you get the best of both worlds. You get the private sector and the public sector. So people may or may be coming in and out because this property obviously is being shown. We're out in the Inland Empire. If you're in Southern California, reach out, shoot a text, 909-341-6629, I believe it is, right? If not, click the link down below. You can also go right there, scan that thing right there. You can scan that QR code and jump into the Sub 2 Master Group, okay? Sub 2 Master Group. We got AHA University rolling out. We got VIP Execs, Realty and Lending that's up and running, as well as recruiting throughout the United States of America. If you want to place your license and you want to get, you need that edge. Trust me, the creative real estate investment part of this business will give you that edge like no other. Once you learn it, no one can take it away from you. Once it's in your mind, it's there forever, like a steel trap, right? You can either share it or not. If you come aboard and work with us, there are some things that need to happen. I won't get into the details, but let's talk about creative real estate investing. Why is it so awesome? Why do a lot of people want to get into it? Yes, there's a lot of hoopla. There's a lot of stuff out there. Even when crowdfunding came out about 10 years, 15 years ago, right? Everybody's like, oh, I'm going to do crowdfunding and get into it, right? Fads are fads, but creative real estate investing is not a fad. It's been around forever. It's probably been around longer than some of these peeps that have been in the business, right? Guarantee it. Or even their age, right? 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Creative real estate investing has always been there, but it changes and it maneuvers, right? You just got to stay. You got, like I said before, right? You got to adjust, adapt, or you will perish in this business. I say let's rock and not perish, right? And creative real estate investing will help you with that, as well as understanding the business. So what the hell is creative real estate investing? It lives under a big umbrella, right? Everything from sub 2, subject to existing financing. Sub 2 could be sub to anything. It doesn't matter. Subject to the taxes, subject to existing financing. Subject to whatever terms you put in that addendum, as well as rent to own, lease options, regular options, seller financing, sub 2 with seller financing. I'm seeing some posts and stuff online with people and hearing stuff live just from people when we talk with them, right? Are saying, I got to get my first deal. I got to get my first deal. And then we talk a little bit and they don't really understand, even know how to break down a deal. So how are they going to get their first deal if they didn't even know what a deal is or what it looks like or what it smells like? And then going, oh, I'm just going to hand it over to these people and, and pray that they pay me. Now, hey, if that works for you, trust me, you're going to get burned eventually. It's just the way of the world. It's even worse now when I got started, right? At least there was courtesy and a moral compass. Even then, moral compass was not really 100% because there's people taking deeds and doing all kinds of unscrupulous shit when I got started, right? And it's even more relevant in today's market than it was back then because people don't know. Some people just doing it because they think that's what they're being taught and showed, and they're like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? Or they're getting into deals. And then there's others, right? We're talking with an investor that's like, hey, he's got some cash. It's an experienced person and all that good stuff as far as, their job, but they don't quite understand and can't wrap their mind around creative real estate and how that works. They'd rather pay cash $800,000-$900,000 for a property than pay $600,000. And trust me, these are people with PhDs, doctors, nurses, bachelor's degrees and stuff, and they just can't wrap their mind around it. They just need a little bit more massaging, and then some just won't. It's like, no, this is what I'm stuck on, right? They're old dogs, and they're just stuck in their ways. I'm an old dog, right? I'm stuck in my ways too, but I'm willing to adjust. I'm willing to adapt. I like my core small. And maybe you do, maybe you don't, right? But at the end of the day, it's right here, understanding and knowing and the knowledge, and then wanting to use that knowledge to catapult your career into, the stratosphere, or work with others like I'm doing now. It's what we've been doing for several years, and we're starting to pivot and adjust from that. And, one-on-one is the jam. Trust me, nobody else there does that, but it does take time. We got to invest in you. We got to invest in us. We're not scrapping it for 2024. We're just taking, even then it was still a selection process, right? And we take on a smaller amount of people. It's even going down to a smaller amount. So like for Southern California, we got Mr. Rock and Roll Ray, who's doing his stuff. But at the end of the day, we're looking for 4 more. And I never, ever train in my own backyard. I just won't. So, in my area, it is my area. I'll take that down and you just stay away from the rest of it if you're in Southern California, or we're just going to work together in some capacity. Something I've never done before. But we're looking for 4 more peeps for the one-on-one. And every year it does go up. So it probably went up another $4 or $5 grand at the end of the day for 2024. May chat, may talk, maybe catch us on a good day with 2023 pricing or not. Just depends on the situation. It's like creative real estate investing. How can you come aboard? Hey, here's a proposal. We go back and forth. Do that all the time. It's just part of it. That's what I love to do. And everything's negotiable, right? But at the same token, some things are just not. That's when you come to the videos and the PDFs and the groups. We got the Amp Live Challenge. The price is the price. And if it's discounted, then awesome, right? You don't go into an awesome steakhouse and go, hey, can I get that $100 steak for $50? They're going to look at you and say, no, the price is the price. Or you can leave, right? And this is what it is. Nobody goes and tries to negotiate what's on the fucking menu. So trust me, it is what it is, but everything is negotiable to a degree. But those things are changing. Okay. As far as the one-on-one, it is what it is, right? Main thing is that you get some money to work with. You're ready to rock and roll in this business. You're hungry. You're going to show up to the party, because if you don't show up, you won't get any results out of this. It's results orientated. At the same token, creative real estate and real estate in general. Yes, you got to move. You got to get off your butt. You got to hustle. You got to rock and roll. I don't even like the word hustle. Hustle is like ghetto shit, right? It is what it is. But for me, it's like get in, work, become the expert in your field. If you got a job, now there are people who have jobs and they get jobs just so they can get jobs. And then there's people who are on one side of the fence, and then there's others that sit on the fence, and then there's others that are on the other side of the fence, and they just kick ass, right? They become the expert, and then they rise up. And they got people working underneath them. Then eventually they decide to go, shit, fuck all this shit. I'm going to go and move on to my own business since I've learned so much, and I'm going to start my own business, and I'm going to use what I've learned from working in corporate America to build a business, build a brand, hire people, understand my policies and procedures. It's not a new thing, but it's SOPs, right? What's the standard operating position or standard operating, SOPs? Standard operating procedures, right? Now, there are some people, I've seen some courses, that's all it is. The whole thing is standard operating procedures, blah, 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 blah. Fuck. All right, what is that? That's cool if you're running and scaling, but when you're doing this business, a lot of times it's going to be you, or we're going to get in, build a team around you, and then move forward. Or you might be saying, you know what, I just want to come aboard and work with you. Let's expand and grow the business with you and your brand. Vice versa. There's a lot of opportunities, but with creative real estate investing, let me tell you, about 97% of American real estate investors do not understand or know how to do creative real estate investing correctly. Wouldn't you like to be part of that? Wouldn't you like to be part of the 1% to 3% that actually do and understand and know the contracts and not just take deeds or not doing straight up options or just making some shit up and then fucking getting shit locked up and signed when you can do it properly, right? And follow procedure just like a recipe. Yeah, there's different types of creative real estate investing, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Creative real estate investing options, just like seller finance, right? That's a jam. There's a certain thing, again, depending in California, it has to be an all-inclusive deed of trust, right? And there's some things you can't do with VAs and you can't do with, FHA. And some people go, oh, I can't do a VA and go seller finance. You can't? Maybe, maybe not. Full disclaimer, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a CPA. I'm not a bookkeeper, right? I'm not a financial analyst. So take this for what it is, entertainment at its best or not, right? If you don't like it, shut it off. If you're getting value and you're like, man, I like this guy, they're cool, think I want to work with them one day or not, or now, obviously, that's what we're here to do. Then click those links down below. Tell us a little bit about yourself. But the bottom line is this, VA stuff. I've been hearing some stuff. Let me see what we got here. A little bit of chat. Who we got? Did we miss a comment? I'm just going to type in a little rock and roll action in here. If you watch the video, watch it all the way through. I'm going to go ahead and throw some pro tips and some golden nuggets. Rock and roll. What we got? Overlay. I could do overlay. See what that looks like. Nah. All right. So we're 11 minutes in. Watch the video. I know Facebook has its algorithms and stuff like that. And every time I talk about politics and religion, it squashes it down. So you got to figure out other ways to get it through those algorithms and other social media platforms, as well as the social media in general, right? So if you see the video, join the groups. At least you'll be able to get in there and see them. Because a lot of times I've been seeing stuff on Facebook too, going, hey, I put this out there and nobody liked it, nobody looked at it, and then a lot of times we're seeing a lot of stuff on Facebook. It's the same shit, same old ads, 2 or 3 posts and then an ad, 2 or 3 posts and an ad. I'm seeing a lot of the same shit in my feed, a lot of rock and roll and whatever I like, right? Real estate and creative stuff, but I'm not seeing a lot of other people's feeds, right? And that's just because it does what it does, right? So if you see this, watch it all the way through, share it, like it, do the loves, all that other good stuff. Reach out, let's talk, let's chat, because basically all this thing is for is just to share what we do, to be true to our cause and mission, which is to help fellow Americans throughout the United States of America in real estate, creative real estate, traditional real estate. If you're in a jam and you're having a hard time unloading your property, or maybe you're in pre-foreclosure, probate, whatever, there's all kinds of stuff that happens. We're experts in that. Reach out. We love to chit chat with you on the private sector and even the public sector. We can list your property, divorces, probate, all that good stuff, right? And maybe you just want to come aboard and help other fellow Americans in this real estate game. A new cycle is here. We're going to be going into a new cycle. We're not quite there yet. It's already starting and emerging in 2024, 25, 26, 27. But we're gearing up for it. So, some things are changing over here at AHA, America's How Americans and Amp Live. And I suggest you too, you do those things too as well. If you're going to stay in the business, adjust, adapt, or perish. And if you keep on rocking and rolling, cool, you'll make it. Keep on rolling, right? Tenacity and be tenacious and keep following forward and moving forward. There'll be some blood, sweat, and tears to do this, like anything else in any career that you choose. But real estate is more of a lifestyle than it is a career or even a job. Okay, so just remember that it's a business. Every time someone becomes an entrepreneur and they're going, you know what, I'm going to start this business and I'm going to do all these things. And yeah, you'll be, in the beginning, you're going to work a lot of hours. You're going to bust your ass. You got to pay the price, right? If you don't pay the price, it's not going to happen. And then, some will have some glory. Some will have some awesomeness. Some will reach their goals and, get comfortable. And I've talked to a lot of investors recently as well, right? From the last cycle. We lost 7 million, 17 million, 25 million, 35 million in the last cycle, right? I don't say those things to scare you. I say those things because they're truth, right? But they're coming back. Some come back, some don't. Some are like, no, I'm done with that. I'm over here doing this now. And others are like, fuck yeah. I did what I needed to do, crash and burn. Now I'm coming back stronger. And I got my lines of credit and I'm gearing up for the new cycle because hindsight's 2020. Right? I unloaded all my shit. I should have kept a lot of stuff, but I unloaded it, got rid of it, got freaked out 2006 and 7. And then 2008, the world went into the abyss and the world shut down 9, 10, 11, 12. Hey, a lot of people who had cash in 2010, 11, 12, they just fucking gobbled shit up. Can you imagine? Shit rolling from $500,000-$600,000 to $120,000 back to, and then even lower in San Bernardino, California, where properties were $400,000, $500,000, $600,000. In the cycle before that, right, they weren't that. And then when they started off, when the cycle started, there may be 80, 90, 100 to 120,000. Now, nowhere ever in the history of time has real estate went backwards below inflation and below what they were at that time when the market started cycling out. And that means that properties in San Bernardino went back to 70, 80, 90,000, 50,000 bucks. Can you imagine if you had the money to gobble up all that shit? You'd make a lot of money, tens and millions of fucking dollars. Excuse my French, right? But that's the goal, because the goal is coming. The shit has happened again, but we have that happen again? No. Is it going to be a traditional? Never know. We got some stuff and things that are happening, and with the USA and the world where things are being manipulated in regards to inflation and things of that nature, right? Keep the rich and all that good stuff, right? But that's my passion, and it's my goal is to help our fellow Americans, right? If you can do 1 or 2 or 3 deals in a quarter, that's awesome. What if you can do 1 deal a quarter? That's 4. It's probably gonna be more than what you get paid at your regular job, 60, 70, 80, 100,000 bucks, right? 100, 150,000, depending on where you're at, in the Midwest or East Coast. So, it's just a matter of digging in, putting your blinders on, and not worrying about the Joneses and, oh, look, YouTube, someone's doing that. So I see all these checks online and people got paid and people are doing this and people are doing deals. Perception is reality is what I've learned, right? And I learned that from Mr. Not personally from him, but Trump. And he's like, hey, he's the greatest marketer and the greatest fucking business dude, to a degree, right? We all got blemishes. Nobody's 100% perfect, right? But if you think about WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment, Trump, marketing, all that shit, the government's on that shit, right? How do you think we took down the Nazis and all that shit during the German, World War II and all that shit, or World War I? Now, who knows, right? Look, I'm not not a historian here, right? But during that time, guess what, right? They stole our shit. They go, man, we can create propaganda. We can do all this shit, right? And then feed it to our peeps. And then, World War happened, right? So it's the same thing, so don't believe everything you see, even on here. You don't even got to believe my ass, right? Like I said, it's for entertainment purposes, but I will tell you, I will never, ever, ever, if we start working together, get into deals together, I will always ask you, hey, you good to go? Do you want to do this deal or not? If you don't, we'll buy it from you. We'll move on. You'll still learn how to do the transaction. You say yes. Hey, yes, Eric, I want to do this deal. Guys, gals, I want to do it. Okay. Then we're going to get into it and we're going to move forward. Okay. And then we're going to do what we do on the one-on-one. Same thing for the AMP Live Challenge, right? That's the AMP Live Challenge. There'll be a QR code that's going to pop up in a little bit. Take a look at it, scan it. For January, take advantage of it. So it's not like, by 9:45 we do all that good stuff too. It is what it is. But for January, it's 50% off. It's usually $4 or $5 grand. Get into it for a couple of thousand. Do a deal, whether it's wholesale, fix and flip, sub 2, whatever. You're gonna make your money back plus, and then you're gonna go, shit, I want to keep rolling. All right, no problem. Let's put you into the one-on-one mentoring program. Boom, take care of the hard costs. We get you all set up. So at least now you're able to fully be in business. Think of it as a business. Think franchise, think licensing, think McDonald's, think anything that is a franchise. Systems and processes work. The recipes work. If you do this, and this, the outcome, cause, and effect happens every fucking time. I do it all day long. There's a little bit of psychology. Say this, and say this, and I guarantee you already know what they're going to say. A couple of reactions, and it's not to be right, but it's just to be an expert in that field, to know what's going to transpire. And, it's almost like having a crystal ball where you know what they're going to say. And it's not about manipulation and that good stuff, because you got to get the truth from sellers. You got to get the truth from buyers. You got to get the truth from investors. And the only way you're going to do that is open-ended questions, learning the art of the deal, learning some psychology, tie downs and yeses and things of that nature, right? And the thing here is when you're on the phone, you can listen a little bit. Text, it's impersonal. Right? It gets lost in translation. Face to face, can watch each other's body movements when things are said and how your mannerisms. And here's a little tip for you, right? See, when you're working a deal at the kitchen table, see the hands where they're open? Have them open while you're looking at your seller or whatever you're working with, and do it. It seems kind of weird, right? Because you got your hands on the table and you're just like, whatever, and doing this. Your hands are open. You got nothing to hide. When you're like this, or you're like this, shows that you got something to hide whether you do or not. Body motions and body, this how you do things and how you look and how you say things trigger people's emotions. You learn this stuff. If you learn this stuff, you learn the art of the deal, you'll go belly to belly. You'll make a lot more money than you will throwing spaghetti at the wall, which a lot of people are doing. We had one investor roll through a property and is like, hey, 17 freaking what? What's that? Let me see what we got here. I'm going to pull something up here. Let's see if it's still open. Okay, cool. Let's see if it's still, we're going to show some Corona stuff, but back to the investor. I'm going to through a screen share. Boom. There it is. Share that with you. All right. We'll go back here. But investor, it's great, right? So there's a process. Yeah, you can use MLS. You can use good agents if you get them trained. You have your own, marketing, Zillow, create your own Zillow, costs money. There's all kinds of companies out there that lead generate. You can pay for leads, all that good stuff. It all depends on what is going to work for you. For me, I'd rather create your own little Zillow, work pieces and put those pieces together, go with the flow of the text and the ringless voice message. And yes, direct mail still works. It's old school and new school, because when people start using technology, they forget about the other technology. And then other people who use it get those deals. And they're going, well, what's going on? So you should have a mixture. We call them verticals, right? Think of it as a foundation. Then you build a vertical one at a time. So you got people, surfing for deals. That's something that we teach. It's like driving for dollars. Instead of driving for dollars and driving around, can you get an exclusive list doing that? Of course you can. Should you do it? Why not? Look for sale by owners. Look for houses that are ugly. Look for the ugliest houses on the block. Scan it, take a picture, whatever you need to do. There's devices for that stuff. There's software for that where you can build a list, skip trace it, and then go hit it, right? Then we like surfing for deals, where you can find deals online. Yes, it's going to be Craigslist, Zillow, any platform online that has property. It could be the Facebook Marketplace, social media where there's property, because people are posting on there. They want to sell their property. So you're fishing in an ocean where fish are abundant. They want to sell the type of fish you're looking for. Sellers, right? Not, they could be, there's all kinds of reasons why they're going to want to sell, right? Why they don't want to use an agent. Maybe it's, the agent, they don't have the money to get full market value, or they think, I sold 2-3 houses, I can sell it myself. Or there's some crazy shit going on and some people passed away and they don't have title and all kinds of shit and they can't figure out how to sell it right. I want to do a quick claim deed or some bullshit, excuse my French, right? So there's all kinds of different reasons why. Doesn't matter why, right? Because if you're in creative real estate investing or you're in real estate investing, period, you're looking for distressed properties. Unless you're in a multifamily space, then you're looking like, you're going to all the brokers. You want cash flows, maybe a little bit of value add. If you can raise the capital and get a decent, number rolling, then cool, totally different jam. And then there's others like us saying, we'll do multifamily, but we want value add. We want distressed multifamily. We want multifamily where they've had it for 10, 15, 20 years. I don't care if it's free and clear or there's a note on it. They're tired. They're burned out. They want to retire. They want to go on cruises and shit. And they're like, okay, great. But they like getting those checks. So you're going to end, but maybe it's at 60, 70% occupancy. Maybe it's 80% occupancy. Shit. Maybe there's some value adds there and all the pads look like shit and they haven't raised the rent in 10 years. That's a value add. Those are the things we like, because you can create multiple streams of income. You can tap in and double, triple, quadruple dip in a lot of those deals, right? And if you can't afford it, then find some investors that are willing to dip into it with you, right? Everybody knows people. When we deal with nurses, doctors, engineers, IT people, they all have people in their industry that they've worked with. They can tap into those people for what? Private money lending. There's hard money that works too, and there's a place and time for it. But the margins, you got to pay the piper for that, right? And sometimes it could cost you more for private money because you're going to pay the piper to them with the interest rate and maybe a split. But you're giving them the love, so at least, hey, you don't have to go to the bank and do this and jump through the hoops of this, that, and that. You show them the deal, you underwrite. We call them friendship deals. So friendship deals work. If you want to know more about that, click those links. We'll share it with you on how that all works. But I'm going to share with you that there's a method to the madness, right? Finding the deals, building your verticals. Excuse me. I need some fucking water. Building the apparatus to be able to go ahead and lead generate. Then you got to be able to work those deals, put them in the funnel, and decide, is this going to be a for sale by owner? Is it a sub-2 deal? Is it a probate deal? Is it seller? Is it an option? Do they need a loan? Can I list it, right? Because a lot of people are coming down the wire and going, should I get my license? I say yes, right? The reason I say yes is because of Mr. Bruce, God rest his soul. Probably gave me some of the best advice, and even then, I still probably need to jump on it. It's on the back of the mind, but I'm always thinking private sector, private sector, private sector, not the public sector. Even though that's coming together for 2024 and beyond, is that you'll make more money doing both. Real estate investing, becoming an agent, and then, moving forward, depending on what you want to do. I'm not going to talk too much about that, but, drop your license, and this way, hey, because you're going to know it happens all the time. You're negotiating a deal with these people and with our sellers, right? And you're trying to help your fellow Americans, and for whatever reason, they're like, man, I just can't do it. It's just, I need more money, right? Whether it's pre-foreclosure probate or a nice house, a nice area, it doesn't matter. They need what they need. And if you can't fulfill that, then you're going to do what? Oh, I'll just hand it over to an agent, get a referral. Well, no, you can take off your real estate hat, disclose that you're a professional real estate agent, put on your real estate hat and list the son of a bitch, right? And at least you're able to help them out because now you know their bottom numbers, right? Hey, they got to make 80 grand on this deal. Closing costs, they got some credit cards they got to pay off. They're going to move, relocate, whatever, stay in the area. And then if you help them out, right, and you get the property sold, then if they need another property, you can go help them get another property, right? Same thing with real estate investors. People say it all the time. Well, how do I do this? How do I do this? And they get these buyers and then they don't do shit with them, right? So you got a buyer who has $500,000. Go find him some property. Never happens. 9 times out of 10, the good ones will go and find them property, reverse engineer that and go, shit, yeah, I got some property. And they'll spend. They're hyper focused on finding deals like right now. We're in Corona right now. Look at this prop stream, okay? So I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to get off that horse. So if you look at the pre-foreclosures, look, there's 72 in Corona. Look at all these properties here, pre-foreclosures. These are all distressed situations. Doesn't mean every single one's going to pop. Doesn't mean you're going to lock up every single one. It doesn't matter. But let's look at the area, 827, 727. Let me look at, I want something that's simple and easy, 36. Maybe there's some pictures here. Let me get, okay, this one's a nice one, right? 4-bedroom, equity, estimated equity. There's not much, right? So get off that horse of sub-2 and going, oh, well, sub-2 is only for the low equity properties. No, it's not. You want sub-2 that at least have some equity, and the more equity, the better. It just means you get to control that property. And if you're going to do seller finance, then it's a totally different jam. So you got to know and understand how to underwrite those. And go, is it an FHA loan? All that stuff comes down the wire. But there's a lot of people that just don't cross their T's and dot their I's. You need to. Make sure you do that. Otherwise, you're going to get caught with your pants down. And it's not going to be funny. All right, so let's check out this pad. Let's see. It's a little simple one right here. Here we go. There's a smaller one, right? That's probably a condo. I'm not going to mess with that. Here's one. It's kind of small. This is a condominium as well because I did click off condos. Looks like this might have been listed at one time. I'm not sure. Equity. Let me go. I'm just going to go with the one with this one anyway. So $304,000 in equity. Laurel Canyon Way. I'll pull it up. 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,600 square foot, 21,000 square foot lot, built 1987. And then we're looking, it has all the details, right? 2 mortgages on it. So that could be, the more problems, the better. If there's mortgages and there's HELOCs and there's all kinds of stuff going on, as long as there's enough money for them and to make some money, then that's what you're looking for. You're looking for distressed situations. 900,000, 304 equity, pre-foreclosure, 321, 2023. Now this says notice the default was in 2023. Now look, see, now some of these you got to look up because 64,000 in default, right? First American title. So what I'm going to do here is click that back out. So I'm going to be sharing people's information at the end of the day, but it's public information. California is public information. Texas, non-disclosed. Florida, half and half. Different areas are non-disclosed. Doesn't mean you can't get that information. You want fresh data. You want data where at least there are pre-foreclosures. You can do the same thing with probate. You can find, and I'm not promoting, PropStream or anything else, but I like PropStream better than Batch Leads. Batch Leads doesn't give you as much data points and doesn't tell you that, like I just shared with you, the default amount. So from the last cycle to this cycle, since we had the Chinese virus, people are waiting. Hey, well, I got 14, 18 months. The bank's going to work with me. They're not going to do anything, blah, blah, blah. But instead of being $20,000 or $30,000 or $40,000 in back payments, there's 60, 70, 80, 100. But there's also a lot more equity. So you got to write a little bit of a fatter check, probably double of what it was last time, unless you find one. Like that one's not too bad, 64,000, right? In back payments. And we got to look at the equity. Then we got to look at other things that are involved there. Anything going on? No? All right. So if, and we're at, like I said, we're at a property right now. Click those links. You want to reach out, do the little chat. I think I got something on here. Where's maybe a link? Let me do this real quick. I might have a link where you can, let's go back here. Where's it at? I'll share it. Why not? Good. All right. Where are we at? How many minutes? 31 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up a little bit, but creative real estate investing is awesome. Once you jump into it and learn it, it's not something where everybody starts off as a bird dog, and there's a lot of people that join courses and things of that nature, and you are a bird dog. But I always say, hey, we want to help you, right? We want to help you in this business. So there's a difference when people are giving you fish and when you're learning how to fish, how to set up your rigs, right? What type of bait to use, what type of, I'm not much on fishing, but I'm using it as an analogy. I'll be honest with you. I hate fishing, right? but it's the same thing. There's certain type of rig you need for bass, certain type of rig you need to go for trout, certain type of bait that you need to be using, right? So it's the same premise. When you're hunting properties and going after properties, right? You need to be able to go and do those things and set them up correctly, right? And then build your verticals. Verticals are marketing. You should have at least a minimum 3, 4, 5 different types of marketing as you're doing this business. And if you can't afford it, then you need, start with 1 or 2 and build, hyper focus, do a deal, go celebrate your win, come back, and then put it back into your business, start building more types of marketing. So you have deal flow. You need deal flow and you need processes, right? You need systems, you need policies and procedures, just like any other business, any other job. Now, maybe I'm putting too much on the plate for you at the end of the day, but those are the things that you need to do and need to have if you want to have a successful business for the long term. And you can always pivot and maneuver, right? I always say, hey, if we do it for you, then we got to do it for everybody, right? If we gave you a break, then we got to give everybody a break, right? If we have a certain price point or hard costs need to be adjusted, or we finance in-house, or we do whatever, then we have to do it for everybody because that's the fair thing to do, right? We don't just make up stuff. That's why there's policies and procedures. I don't break policies and procedures for anybody. But if we have to, then they're rewritten, and then they become policies and procedures, right? It's called integrity, loyalty, and communication. Communication break down, repair, be repaired. Integrity and loyalty cannot. You also have your policies and procedures for your business and stick to them. Don't break them for anybody. And if you do, be prepared to break them for everybody and rewrite your policy and procedures, okay? But check that out. So deals. Look, we're going after it. We have some investors that have come to see some properties. We got an Inland Empire, and gotta look for some property. Find some properties, find some deals. We'll either sell it to them, we'll come work with them, or maybe they want buy and hold, and we're going to try to do some type of arbitrage where we can, hey, you can pay us a little bit of this on the chunk and a little bit for the next 2, 3, 4 years as we come in and write us a check for a period of time. So you can see how powerful creative real estate is. Or we just take it down, right? Say, hey, go for it. We'll buy it from you. If you come aboard and work with us and you're a mentee, if we want to buy that deal from you, we can, or you can buy it from us, but you'll still at least learn how to do the transaction, right? You'll learn to say, hey, can I take this sub 2? And I want to take it down because the interest rate is awesome. The payment is awesome. Shit, I think I want to live in it. I love this area. It's great for the schools and my kids. And can we do that? Of course we can, right? Everything is flexible to a degree. Real estate is negotiable. Creative real estate investing is negotiable, okay? That's the goal, is thinking outside that box. So on all these properties here, I'll get back to this, right? So you can see all these properties here, pull them up, boom, they're everywhere. MLS deals, pre-foreclosures, auctions, bank owed. You want to find some buyers, cash buyers, there you go, look them up. And plug in those certain different types of filters. I'm not going to go into that because the main thing is about creative real estate investing and looking and finding those deals, okay? So I'm going to go back to this. We're going to switch that back. I'm actually going to switch it out. Go right here. So you can see the mug. All right, cool. So I challenge you. I'm going to bring it up now. It's probably too late. I usually should bring it up in the morning, in the beginning. But I don't want you to look at the QR code. I want you to focus on what we're talking about. Hopefully understand what we're saying here. And if you do, awesome. If you don't, that's okay. Reach out. We do the QR codes. We got the 50% off there. Boom, hide, show. It's going to show. There it is. So 50% off. There is no code. Lock in your spot. Amp Live. It's the Amp Live. That's the Amp Live challenge, I believe. And that's going to be 30 days to a deal. But we're gonna rock creative real estate. Whatever comes down the wire, it could be a wholesale deal. And yes, I saw some stuff where we're going, oh, you shouldn't be wholesaling sub-2 deals. Not to me, but just out in general. Of course, you want to make sure whoever you're selling a sub-2 deal to, one, they understand what needs to be done. Two, they have a track record of sub-2 and understand it. Three, they have the money and you've checked and you've seen their money, you've met with them, you've talked with them, and you're creating a deal and letting them know that about the whole situation and how it all works, that, hey, your reputation's on the line. If this thing doesn't go through, that property's coming back to us and we're going to finish it out. You go bye-bye. We're going to take care of the seller because that is the most important thing in this whole equation is the seller, right? And then you got the investor and then you, us. We're last on the totem pole, right? Seller's first, investor, buyer, us on the bottom, okay? Unless you're taking it, and it's always going to be seller's number one. Take care of the seller, take care of the seller, take care of the seller. Always, okay? But when you got somebody, when you have someone, if they don't understand sub-2, then it's going to be, hey, they got to make sure that they understand it 100%. And if it takes an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, shit, if it takes 4 or 5 hours to share that with the buyer or investor and showing them what needs to be done with all the paperwork that goes with it, because we're not just taking the deed, right? There's a lot of documents that are involved to make it happen the way we want to make it happen, where everybody is, secure at the end of the day and they feel good about it and everybody can sleep at night. So it's super important. But scan, I believe it's right there. Scan that QR code right there. Boom. Jump on. Come aboard. Let's work together. Let me go ahead and take this out real quick. I'm going to shut that down, boink, so you can see the whole thing there. So if you scan that, there'll be this right here. Where's it? Right there. Scan the QR code. Boom. Make sure you lock in your spot for January, and then sub-2 master group. Make sure you scan that. You can get in there for free and just get some tips and things of that nature. Hang out, see properties, whatever. Ask questions. For this, it'll be private. You'll be in a private platform where we're just going to train together. Along with myself and my team and graphics, you have all that good stuff, but you got to show up to the party. It's not one of those things where you can watch a bunch of videos and, yes, it'll be recorded and things of that nature. If you don't get any deals, then that's on you. It's because you didn't show up to the party. It's because you're not taking action. You're not doing what needs to be done. So it's not going to benefit you right now, but at least you'll have everything. And then maybe it's 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years down the road. And you decided maybe, hey, I'm going to go for it again. Awesome. Hey, you took care of it, took care of the price to come aboard and do that, and it's all yours. You do what you need to. Me, I'd be going, shit, I scanned that. I'm going to be there every day. I'm going to ask tons of questions. I'm going to take action, right? And I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to ask a lot of questions so I can get a deal in the next 30 days, right? And keep on rocking and rolling, okay? And like I said before, I promised you, hey, if you don't get a deal in 30 days, we'll work with you for free for another 30 days. If that doesn't work, we'll work with you all the way up to 90 days for free, okay, to help you get a deal under contract, okay? If you don't get a deal in 90 days, then business is not for you. And there's going to be a lot of reasons. It can't be like, oh, it didn't work. I guarantee you, everything you do, there's always going to be results, and it's always going to be tracked. We're always going to have proof that it does work because we set up things on our side. We've been there long enough. Okay, call ended. So it was some AI shit over here. But that's what it is. So after 90 days, hey, guarantee you're going to get a deal. All right. So, but we know probably in the first 30 days, if you hunk and chunk and do what you need to do, and you do what needs to be done, we'll write up some contracts. Okay. It's going to be a beautiful, lovely thing. So remember, it's not a race either. So don't try to move as fast as slow as you need to, but don't try to, it is what it is. You want to move super fast, let's move super fast, but you better be able to digest that information. We'll know if you digested it or not. Right. And we're also not going to just let you go rogue and go, oh shit, let me do this, do that, do that. You can, but you're on your own. If we're going to work together and you get a contract, cool. If you want to do a contract and want us to work with you and go through the sub-2 process, or maybe work a deal, we buy, cash you out, you cash us out, or we both do a JV together and unload it through the network, then hey, awesome. That can work too, okay? But that's going to be on a base case-by-case scenario. So it's a beautiful, lovely thing. Scan that QR code. Let's come aboard. Let's rock into this new quarter. That's the goal, right? So we have our goals and projections, and that's why we're doing this. The one-on-one program is still going. Looking for about 4 more peeps in Southern California. Of course, we're always looking for good people throughout the whole United States of America for the one-on-one program, but it is a selection process, so not everybody just gets to come aboard. There is a selection process to this, and it is full plug and play. It is true one-on-one mentoring, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, if needed, okay? We do answer our phones after 7 p.m. and on the weekends if we got deals in the pipeline, growing a pipeline, getting your marketing set up, helping you build your own little Zillow and all that good stuff. But like I said, 2024, the hard costs have gone up. So there you got a couple of options. One, just one-on-one mentoring, and you have all the cheat sheets and everything that you need with plug and play. Or you just pay, I think, another $4 or $5 grand, and boom, the whole thing is all put together, graphics, and we move as we need to move. And because you want to build a little bit of a bigger business with dispo acquisitions, round robin marketing, and you're the rainmaker at the end of the day, bringing these leads in and running your business the way it needs to be ran and scaling up with deal flow. But you have to listen, right? If you don't listen, you don't follow directions, then it's not going to happen. If it doesn't happen, it's not on us, it's on you. That's why it is action-based, right? So we know that if you do these things and you follow the recipes and you take action, you'll get to where you need to. You'll be successful at the end of the day and you'll close deals. If you don't, it's because you're not following the recipes. You're not showing up. You're trying to restructure and build a better mousetrap and build it faster and quicker. And it makes no sense. Why would you do that? That's like, hey, you got a car maker. We're badass at making cars. You're brand new and you're going to come in and say, I think we should do this and do that and do this and do that. And we can build these cars quicker and faster doing this, or get out of town, right? Wasting your time, wasting our time, wasting everybody's time at the end of the day, right? Just got to show up. And that happens. It's just the way it is. Some people are stubborn, but it's okay. We got patience. We understand how people learn. People are based on muscle memory. Others can read and study and get a good grasp, and then they have to execute, right? So we'll hold each other accountable. We'll hold you accountable at the end of the day to make sure you show up to the party, make sure you're taking action. We're going to be on the horn, working with you, negotiating with you, and all kinds of other stuff. Tech will be helping you out. Marketing, graphics will help you out when you need that stuff going, but only when we get to those points. So we'll never move forward unless you digest what's being shared with you, right? And what you're being mentored on. Now, for the for the AMP Live Challenge, this right here with this QR code, hey, you just got to show up, all right? Show up. Show up on a Monday, show up on a Saturday. In between there, you'll have a direct connection on the platform. Boom, boom, boom. We'll be rocking and rolling. And we go from there. If you decide after you do a deal, you want to come aboard a one-on-one, if it's a good fit still go through the selection process, make sure we're a good fit for each other. If you are, then boom, we're going to move forward on that. If not, hey, go rock and roll. Give us a testimony. Say you got a deal or you're working deals. You're filling up your pipeline. It's growing. It's exploding. Everything you said, everything we shared with you is what we said. And you're like, bam, this is awesome. But I got it from here. No problem. Thank you very much. We'll be coming in and out. Boom. No problem. No harm, no foul, right? So it's a beautiful, lovely, lovely thing. Creative real estate investing can take you to a new level. When you're working with us on the one-on-one, trust me, no one does what we do. This is taking your business to a different, total higher level at the end of the day. And some people understand that. Some people don't. And the ones that do, they come aboard. We don't have too long of a conversation like, boom, where do I sign up? How do I get started? Let's rock, right? And let's move forward. And that's just it in a nutshell, right? But seller finance is awesome. Rent to own is option. Lease options. All those things are creative real estate investing. You'll learn that over a period of time. Creative real estate investing and doing it in its simplest form, right? And that's even if you just want to take an option. You're going, you know what? I don't want to write that contract up. I don't want to go sub-2 and this and that and go wholesale. I think I just want to do an option and write it up. So you got some inventory. And that's what I did to populate my websites in the first cycle is I'll just take options. I just couldn't put stuff on my website because I didn't have permission. But if I had an option, a one-page option saying, hey, allow me to sell this, if I can, give you 300, if I can execute this option at, 150, 300,000 bucks, anything over and above that I get paid, but I got to execute the option and give me 30 days. Is that cool? No problem. One pager, boom. If there's an addendum, then add an addendum, whatever terms need to go in there. But I felt comfortable. Then I had a piece of, I can get videos and pictures and all that good stuff, put it on my website, populate the website, send it off, and then sell it off to another investor, right? And if it didn't close, if they got an offer somewhere, that's cool, no problem. Hey, I'll rip it up. I don't care. Boom. Right? So at least I helped them out. I'm paying it forward by helping out the sellers. And then other times it's just, lock up the contract, write up the contract, wholesale it, buy it, fix, flip, whatever you're going to do. But when I got into real estate, it wasn't about wholesaling. It was about buying properties, fix and flip. How do I do that? How do I do it creatively? Well, it's going to be a bird dog. It's going to be a wholesaler, right? That's what they call it now. It wasn't called that then, but it is now. And you're just selling paper. You're selling a contract to another investor, and it's legal as long as you have equitable title, and you're going to do that and let people know and you disclose that that's what's happening. A couple other contracts to make it happen, to go through escrow and get paid out, right? So there's only every escrow and title is a little bit different, but those are things you got to learn. People ask, do I go after deals or do I go after buyers first? I say go after both, but most importantly, go after deals. Deals. Because if you have a deal and then it gives you momentum. You're in the game. You've got something locked up, right? Instead of going, I'm going to try to find buyers, talk to buyers, and then you 3-4 months, you're going, okay, great. Now you got to go find deals, but you suck because you don't know how to negotiate. You don't know how to break down deals. You don't know where to find them. And even if you do know how to find them, you don't know how to underwrite them. So you're going to go, I'll get a team. I'll get somebody else. I'll get a JV and let them do the numbers. Blah, 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 blah. You only do that when you're going to build a big business, and then you start chopping off your skill sets, right? In the beginning, you should learn these skill sets to become the expert. Or how are you going to have your policies and procedures, or even have your higher standards or low standards? I say have higher standards, and understand and know how you want your business to be perceived when they're making those phone calls, right? When they're shooting out those text messages, when they're at the house negotiating, or they're on the phone negotiating, right? Period. If you don't do those things, you're trying to pass the buck. Good luck. You're only going to be as strong as what you are. Or you can be extravagant and you can be, you can be a total expert. Doesn't mean you have to learn it all, but you should know how they work if you're going to execute them and use them. And then at least know what that's about. So if you hire somebody to go, I'm hiring you to be my sub-2 expert. I'm going to hire you to be my seller financing expert. I'm going to hire you to be my acquisition person to write up these contracts, underwrite these sons of bitches, send them over. So then, they can get paid. I'm going to hire you for dispo since you love properties, you understand. But even a dispo, you can't just, I'm going to do dispo, send over the deals and I'll get rid of them. I love showing properties and this and that. But if you don't know what a deal is, or you don't know the mechanics of the deal, or even how it got locked up and the story on it, there's no way you're going to be able to sell and become an awesome dispo person, right? Dispo is usually before acquisitions. Same in the traditional world, like, hey, I'm going to be a buyer's agent. Then eventually you get good enough and become a listing agent, right? And others are going, hey, sometimes I just like buyers. I want to work with investors, or I just love showing properties, and they'll stay as a buyer's agent and don't want to do listings. And eventually they will become and move into the listing section, right? The listing part of it. Same thing on the private sector, right? You got disposition and acquisition, and in between there, you got what? You got round robin, man, right? You got the marketing, and there's divvying out those leads, right? Because those people need to get paid too, right? You got a marketing machine, and as the leads come in, acquisition takes that shit down. But if they don't understand creative real estate, then everything's gonna be wholesale. You're building a wholesale business, right? And you don't know shit about sub-2 or creative real estate investing until you do what? Start learning it, go ahead, hit a course, some seminars, bring some other people to the table and say, I got to learn creative real estate investing. That all comes with time. For me, it just came with time. Bird dog, wholesale, creative real estate investing, buy, hold, fix, flip, all that good stuff went in that direction, period. And that's before any of this stuff that we're looking at now is that we have, right? So it's just adapting and adjusting. Old school works with new school. Are people knocking on doors and making money? Shit, yeah. Are people making money with postcards and letters? Shit, yeah. Costs a lot more money if you can afford it. Some people are going, hey, talk to somebody, go, what? $1,000 a month? So there's people spending $10, $15, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 a month on their marketing. but they're also probably doing 100 to 300 to 400 to $500,000 a month closing deals. So it's all relevant. You can't just start off at the top and go, oh yeah, fuck yeah, I'm going to start off at the top. No. And there are no shortcuts. So if you think there's shortcuts and you ever see that commercial with the Staples button, bam, 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 and everything comes to you, that's all bullshit. There is no such thing as shortcuts in life, shortcuts in the business. You can't shortcut. But I will say this is the closest thing to a shortcut, a mentor, right? Because if I didn't find my mentor, then I would have spent another 3, 4, 5 years spinning my wheels and I wouldn't have jumped in. But there's also a word of caution and a word of advice, right? You can move fast, 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 and you can crash really fast too, right? Because if you're not appreciate, it's like a motorcycle, right? You can ride that motherfucker and go bam, but fuck, if you don't appreciate and respect that motorcycle, it can kill you, right? You can crash and burn, and hopefully you don't die, right? Same thing in real estate, right? You can fucking go, this is awesome and everything's working, boom, boom, boom. Sooner or later, God's gonna stop you and you're gonna crash and burn, right? Or you're gonna keep throttling it, be smart about it, keep massaging it, grow little, grow, and do your thing. Or maybe, hey, I'm going to stop right now. This is perfect. And then rock and roll until you decide to pivot. But make sure it's a lateral move, always going up, right? And that's my word of advice for you today. Saturday, hopefully you're rocking and rolling. You're out there in the industry or you're out in the field looking for deals, making phone calls. Just be mindful of the tech stuff. You know, you can do it all day long if you want. I'm telling you, you can get 500 offers. You'll get one accepted. You can call 1,000 people. You'll get 2 or 3, 4 deals, maybe 4, 5, right? But it just depends on what you're wanting to do. You have to have a game plan. Is that a dog? You have to have a game plan at the end of the day, okay? Huh? Oh, kids. Oh, anyways, okay. So I'm going to wrap this up. What we got here, we got 51 minutes. Woo, 51 minutes of juiciness. Scan that QR code. Take the challenge. I challenge you. I also challenge you to pick up the book, Think and Grow Rich. I'll say thank you to Amp Live Media and VIP execs. Reach out if you have a license and you're not happy where you're at. Now, I can name all kinds of them, right? C21, Berkshire, Cold Wild Shitty Bank. What else is there? Fucking, you got the Fathom, Bathom, Canathom, Snatchem, Batchem, Bitchem, Batchem. I'm just kidding. There's all kinds of brokerages out there. Mom and pops, franchises, and all that other good stuff. Howdy. Sorry. You gotta give me some warning there, Liz. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up really quick. So reach out, click those links down below, and we'll touch base. Thank you.